Austin, are you so excited to be on TV?
I am. Hope they get my good side.
I get one more thing.
What do you guys want us to do now? Are we good to do the sound check?
All right, we have the Chatham Rabbits sign.
I saw someone I could love today, like on the cotton field. And it ran as I saw as I ran that the heat of the day made him real.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and this is Austin, and we are Chatham Rabbits.
No matter how I lie, I wish I didn't lead her help, but the heat of the day makes me lie.
Heat of the Day is a song that I wrote when I was in college, and I was really inspired by stories I'd heard of women specifically who were sharecroppers and cotton mill workers in North Carolina.
Heat of the day kept me here. I wish to the Lord I'd never been born, or that love would set me free. But I'll just wait for the heat of the day to make something of me.
This song depicts the story of a woman who sees a mirage and has various things happen to her while she's working the cotton fields that are all the result of the heat.
All we have for the fields are songs, but I have to sing alone. I used to sing with someone else till the heat of the day took her home.
I grew up in a Quaker community in Alamance County as a member of the Society of Friends, and every month at our Quaker meeting we had a hymn sing, so everybody would just sing hymns out of the hymnal a cappella, and that was my favorite Sunday of the whole month.
Would set me free. I'll just wait for the heat of the day to make something of me.
I got really into playing guitar. I learned from my dad to play a few basic chords, and when I was 14 I started performing out as the public figure of Sarah Honeybee was my stage name.
Someone I could love today, like on the cotton field.
I was out in the crowd and she walked on stage with her banjo and I was like, wow, that girl is pretty cool. Like, she plays the banjo, that's awesome. And so I was with my roommate and I was like, man, I really want to talk to her at some point. She seems really cool.
That love would set me.
Thanks to technology and a little bit of Facebook messaging, we met like almost a year later, and we went on our first date at Trophy in Raleigh, grabbed a little pizza and beer, and became best friends.
Heat of the day to make something of me.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank y'all so much.
We're so happy to have so many familiar friends and family out there in the audience. I'd like to dedicate this next tune. This is our single that's out right now called Chattanooga. Sarah wrote it. And in case you just heard the story of how we met, but we met at Cat's Cradle in Chapel Hill, and I was where you guys were sitting right now when I first saw her. And I was with one of my best friends over here in the audience, Harrison Holt, and he was with me. We weren't even 21 yet. I remember we were drinking a root beer. And I saw her walk out on stage, and I'm like, dude, I gotta talk to that girl. Like, look at her, she's playing the banjo. And he was like, no, you're never gonna talk to her. I talked to her. Anyways, want to dedicate this one to Harrison.
This song's called Chattanooga.
1, 2, 3.
A Essentially, the song is about being stretched too thin and just wearing yourself out by trying to be everything to everybody and not really focusing on things that actually matter or taking care of the people in your life that really care.
Well, I know my daddy lives there, but it's been a while since I'd seen his face without that crooked smile, Lord, crooked smile, Lord, crooked smile. So I moved 2 states over and a little to the right, to a city that don't sleep, so I could stay up all night. I'd stay up all night. I could stay up all night. When I think of all those places.
Prior to meeting Austin, I was playing like very hardcore, old-time and primitive bluegrass music, and Austin was playing in an electronic band out of Raleigh called Dash. And when we met, we had totally different styles of music.
And as much as I like you, and as hard as I try, the grass is always greener on the other side, Lord, other side, Lord, other side. So I moved to Surrey County.
Actually, on the very first night we went out together, we ended up playing music together and like swapping songs that we'd written. And so from there, it immediately started just sharing back and forth kind of what we'd been working on prior to meeting.
So I moved to Chattanooga 'cause I thought I could hide. Then you chased me down the highway. I drove for my life, Lord, I drove for my life.
I have to say that Austin has been the one to like shift a lot more than I have, but we've still taught each other a lot.
Thank y'all so much. This is a song that Austin wrote about one of his family members that lives up in the mountains of Virginia, and the song tells the story of how Austin's relative Anderson, who is 87, lost his home in a fire this past year, and kind of his perspective on life. He really just had a remarkable way of thinking about everything in the house is just stuff and just things, and he had a much broader perspective on the rest of the world. So this song is called The Fire, and we're gonna do it for you now.
To him, it was just stuff. Even though it was important stuff, he was just thankful he was alive and his dog made it out okay. And I was really taken aback by that, because to me, it was like, but this isn't just stuff. It's priests, it's Civil War relics and things. But you know, the more I got to thinking about it, the more I realized that that's a great perspective.
His daddy's daddy gave him all that he needed. A room in a farmhouse on the hill. Modern man he was when he built the kitchen. Stove top, skillet's hot and the bacon's on. He woke up to the sound of his hound dog. A spark.
We are not the first Chatham Rabbits. We live in a mill town in Bynum, North Carolina, and our house was built in 1910. And when we moved there, we started playing together even more, and we were trying to think of a good name, and so we actually reached out to the Bynum listserv, which is their email chat group, and we just kind of said, you know, what would be a cool name idea that would kind of pay homage to Chatham County and where we live. And it was almost unanimous. Everybody started pinging back, Chatham Rabbits, and we were like, what is that all about?
In the stable. It's time to cut
it turns out that back in the early 1900s, this mill town of Bynum, the mill sponsored a string band called the Chatham Rabbits String Band. And obviously that was a long time ago, and none of those original members are still living, and we just feel honored to sort of carry on that tradition. In fact, we learned even more about the history, and the guitar player from the band, his name, they called him Susie. Susie Riddle was actually the guitar player for the band, and he lived in our house. So it was just, it's pretty amazing how it all worked out.
To his house after the fire. Gun barrels and ashes were all I found. He told me once he did not trust the bank man. Kept his money inside a coffee can.
The original Chatham Rabbits string band was called the Chatham Rabbits because in the early 20th century, rabbits were a very popular crop in Chatham County, and Chatham County was actually the meat rabbit capital of the U.S. at one point.
Go fetch the mule in the stable. It's time to cut the sugar cane. Sun's up and it's a glory of the morning. That's when the fire came.
There's a dish, a very fancy dish called Chatham Rabbits. So if you look us up online and you Google Chatham Rabbits, you'll either find us or you may find a recipe for Chatham Rabbit.
Sun's up and it's a glory of morning. That's when the fire came. Sun's up and it's a glory of the morning.
Thank y'all. Is it okay if we play a brand new song for you guys tonight? Never heard by anybody before? So obviously, as the story goes, and as you guys know by now, we have left our corporate jobs to do this full time. And so we wrote this song sort of about that, with the imagery of a house being sort of the stable thing in our life, and kind of the image of that falling to pieces in order to go and seek our full potential. So this song is called Hinges.
I was at my parents' house and I saw this beautiful candle that I've seen my entire life, and it's never been lit. Like, it's just this gorgeous candle that's never been lit, and I thought, wow, you know, that is the way a lot of us live our lives, you know, and we have potential, but that's where it kind of stops.
You're a piece of art. It's time to light the flame and let it melt your heart. What good is potential without a force to move? I promise not to hurt you, leave you black and blue.
Prior to this, I was a financial planner, so I was doing the whole suit and tie every day. And you know, there was a lot of rewarding things about that lifestyle, but from a really young age, music has always been my passion.
Mud in the hallway, cobwebs on the door. It means that we have time to make love even more.
It's something that has been in the fibers of our relationship from the very beginning. We were spending a lot of time apart at our desk jobs and still being fulfilled in other ways, but not really strengthening our relationship and our personal goals and what we wanted to do. And so, you know, I think as simple as it sounds, it's just sort of in our blood, in our DNA to play music.
In the door. We'll spend So make this old world better. Be sure to leave your mark. Let's ride into the sunset and leave the green behind. We can find more somewhere further on down the line.
We think we did a lot of the right steps to get where we are today. You know, we did go to college, not that you have to, but we did end up going to college, and you know, we worked in the corporate world for a few years and were able to save and do some adult things, you know, buying a house and all that before we decided to take the plunge. And people ask us all the time, like, how did you, even other musicians, how did you guys decide to do this? And that's a good question, but we were determined to find a way to give this a shot where we had a few years to give it everything that we have.
Don't move a muscle unless it's north to south. Say us to me, darling, and kiss my dirty mouth. I promise I will show you a world that's sure to please. So cut the ties that hold you back and feel the sweet relief. Let this old house fall to pieces. Let the rain drip in the pan. Let the dust settle on the hard pine floors. Let the hinges creak in the door. Let this old house fall to pieces.
Thank you, guys.
All right, this song's called 4th of July.
It is essentially about the idea that you can choose your friends and not necessarily choose your family. I know a lot of people that have tough family relationships, and even within a great family, there's always tough relationships, and so we were just inspired by that concept and felt like it was sort of a tribute to those out there who struggle with their relationships with their families.
'Cause my blood's as black as night. It bites like a snake, and it's full of hate. I'd like to sever the tie. I try to do the best I can, but my blood, it beats me down like a heart with an arrow, spits and sputters. I can't seem to get out. Every year on the 4th of July, we gather around the fire, telling your stories and drinking wine.
I think that living in North Carolina is very special, not only because our families and circle of friends are here, but also the rich culture of supporting musicians.
The venom of my kin to blame.
There's a lot of inspiration in North Carolina and a lot of great music that's here. We feel like we kind of have a family here, musically speaking.
How I have changed. You're always trying to pick a fight, saying you're just giving advice.
If we wanted to, we could spend our entire careers just playing in North Carolina because there are so many great places to play.
You cut me in, it's your blood I bleed. Every year on the 4th of July.
We travel a lot, you know, around the U.S. playing music, but whenever we come back to North Carolina, it really does feel like home.
I'd say that's a really important thing to us.
We're alright. What's strange is that I want you to love me. I'll tell you all I've done in hopes that you'll say that you are proud, though the weight of your words is none. Why do I pine for your embrace when tears are all I'm blue? Your words are shallow, and so will be the grave I lay you to rest. Every year on the 4th of July, we gather round the fire, telling your stories and drinking wine, pretending we're alright, pretending we're alright.
Thank y'all so much. It's been a real treat to play for y'all tonight. We have one more tune for y'all. This is a song that Austin wrote, and he grew up in Wilmington, North Carolina, and I grew up in Alamance County in a little community called Graham. And although neither of us grew up at the mountains, we both love the mountains a whole lot, and we try to spend a lot of time up there playing shows and exploring, riding around in the Mini Winnie, taking Ruby everywhere. So we're gonna do a tune for y'all called Blue Ridge Mountain Home that we hope everybody out there at home will enjoy. And if you like what you've heard tonight, please feel free to reach out to us online at chathamrabbits.com and on Instagram, chatham_rabbits. Come say hi. We love playing music for y'all. So here's one more. This song's called Blue Ridge Mountain Home.
This song is a really good example of how we use place and the environment to paint a picture and to describe something bigger than just the landscape itself. So this is a fun little tune. I really like singing it a lot, and it pays tribute to the mountain we love a whole lot.
Her calico turns to leather, Appalachian maiden fair. Her skin turns from gold to porcelain, and I know we arrived at home. You can't keep warm with a pot of coffee or bearskin winter shawl. You need sweet, tender loving and a Blue Ridge Mountain home.
I grew up really close to the waterway, and I always just loved nature. And so what happened was that translated into my songwriting. You know, a lot of the themes in our songs are related to nature, and I definitely think that has influenced our songwriting a lot, just loving the nature.
Way out in your tan lines, we don't crave sunny 75. We watch the leaves fall and thank God for it all. Our Blue Ridge Mountain home.
also have a strong longing to create songs that are appropriate and like loved by people of all ages, and that can be, you can sing along to, and that everyone in the audience, from, the 3-year-old rolling around on the floor to the 93-year-old listening, tapping their toe, everybody can enjoy and listen to and connect to.
Fills your bones, makes you sing out a victory song. Virginia, Carolina, Tennessee, our Blue Ridge Mountain home. It's a fever that chills your bones, makes you sing out a victory song. Virginia, Carolina, Tennessee, our Blue Ridge Mountain home.
Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, y'all. We're Chatham Rabbits.
North Carolina Channel is made possible by the financial contributions of viewers like you who support the UNC-TV network.